This is Phil from Bad Daddy, unconventional wisdom for free-thinking parents in America. Take the red pill today and join me for a trip down memory lane to see what your husband really wants for Father's Day. In the 1950s, your husband would have made a great living. He'd have enough cash flooding in, even as a teacher or tradesman, to support the whole family. Comfortable in a middle-class home, 10 days vacation on the beach in Florida, and a growing nest egg, the monthly credit card balance was all of zilch. Briefcase in hand, he waltzed into your open arms with his 5 o'clock shadow, leaning in for a soft kiss before tackling the swarming kids on the nylon carpet. And you, your endless charm and $1,000,000 smile, had the freedom to be home, patching up scraped knees, fixing lunches, and jello molds. Keeping order in the universe, enough twinkle left in your eye to stop traffic on Sundays. His job paid every expense, right down to the old tire swing in the yard, a quiet sense of security around all of it. You fought sometimes, but not about money. Today, not so much. One paycheck barely covers the mortgage, and you're working full-time, too, to cover the groceries, utilities, childcare, and school supplies. The balance on the Visa compounds at 23%, and the cell phone bills alone are suffocating. This sucks for your husband. Of course, he supports women in the workforce and all your career aspirations, but not because he needs them to cover the car payments. Your husband wants to be a provider. He wants you to have the option to be a stay-at-home mom whenever and for as long as you want to. It's in his daddy DNA. He doesn't talk about it because it seems out of reach and maybe a bit silly, but it gnaws at him. And it's not his fault that he can't give it to you. Wages are down and the cost of living is up. Something subtle happened that turned everything upside down. Something broke. A close relationship existed between wages or paychecks and innovation, capital investment, and technical know-how, compounding in society through time. Like a magic dividend, it was shared by all working families. As productivity increased, wages for the working man grew in tandem, an increase in the standard of living shared by all. This coupling is how your husband could provide so much in 1950 compared to 1850 without working any harder. Machines were covering the difference. The magic dividend ended when the disco started in 1971. Wages and productivity decoupled, like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Here's the chart. The divergence was readily apparent from 1971 onward, when the American dream faded. Productivity didn't stop growing. Today, your husband is more productive than ever. It was only his paycheck that stopped growing. Angelina Jolie now describes it as an abusive drunk to their adopted children. Wives and mothers like you had to join the workforce just to make up the difference and keep your family treading water. And what a boost to GDP now that you can work half your week to pay another woman to take care of the children. The gruesome truth is that productivity gains are now siphoned off the top in a giant skimming operation by banks, the government, and the super rich. I know, click close, this sounds like bad conspiracy theory, but I'm not suggesting that most of them even understand it. Some may pull the strings knowingly, others look the other way, and still more just don't get the mechanics. They assume your husband doesn't work hard enough and didn't go to the right schools. The fault is yours. Maybe you're not disciplined like they are. They get behind podiums in Switzerland or Jackson Hole and explain this to each other, backslapping while someone like you passes out crab cakes. They really should just make better choices. So what happened in 1971? Was it John Travolta's performance as Tony Manero in Saturday Night Fever? Close, but that was 1977. In 1971, America broke its lifelong connection to the gold standard. Sound, honest money, thereby rigging the dice, destroying the social contract, and unleashing a system of rampant cronyism. The skimming component is a feature of paper money, allowing those who can create it by loaning and borrowing cheaply to harvest the surplus of your husband's daily bread, saddling so many, like you, with the stranglehold of debt servitude. This isn't capitalism, and it's the opposite of a free market, so don't take the bait when charlatans and panderers come crawling for your vote. You can't fix it all on one Sunday in June, but you can start by getting your information from the right sources. At Bad Daddy, we can help with that. It's our passion. It's a bitter pill, but better to be in the know, right? And to be clear, that does not include either political party. Mainstream information is designed to keep you inside the matrix, feeding the sloth. So here are a few people to read with Father's Day gifts for the man who wants a better shot at providing real security for his wife and children. Number 1, Doug Casey, the great speculator. Doug pulls no punches, shooting straight and hard. Best enjoyed over a stiff drink and good cigar, few men will fail to appreciate his candor. Try his collection of essays, Totally Incorrect. Like your husband, Doug Casey is an American treasure. Number 2, Porter Stansberry. Brash and wildly entertaining, this guy sees the big picture. There is no better financial market education, including any Ivy League school, than simply getting on the Stansberry Research email list. Try their podcast, Stansberry Investor Hour, for a taste. Chris Martinson, number 3, and Adam Taggart at peakprosperity.com, exploring the massive predicament caused by a system of perpetual growth on a finite planet. They're full of great ideas to improve your life and the world, becoming self-reliant and in tune with the natural order. Their book Prosper is a nice choice for the cerebral husband and father. Number 4, Richard Maybury, another treasure. His Uncle Eric series are the best books on the planet for understanding the world, geared for teens and preteens, and he writes a killer newsletter for adults called the Early Warning Report. I subscribe to a ton of material, as does my team, but this I look forward to most. The strategic insights and perspective are as unique and well-reasoned as anything, anywhere. So there it is, folks, news you can use to keep your family out of the gutter. Whatever you do, please don't blindly follow the herd. Question authority. And stick it to the damn shepherd before he leads your family to the slaughterhouse. Of course, you don't have to give your husband anything for Father's Day. He's not in it for the fanfare. He just loves you and those greasy kids. So make sure they have a craft or card and put on a summer dress, whip up an old-fashioned or 3 and a special dinner. Put the kids to bed early and remember how you got into this Father's Day mess in the first place. Because you just can't keep your hands off each other. Now have some fun together, then join our email list for a 25% chance to win a copy of our full-color children's book, Where Does Money Come From? 1 in 4 receive it free of charge. No ads and no spam, just straight talk for free-thinking parents every 3 to 4 weeks, right to your inbox.